EVO 2026, presented by Chipotle, opens this Friday at the West Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center. A total of 5,774 unique competitors are registered across 12 titles. When you count players who entered multiple games, the total combined entries hit 8,926. That sounds healthy until you stack it against last year. Total registration has fallen 32% from last year's 8,541, and that is the sharpest year-over-year decline in the event's 3-decade history. For context, Street Fighter 6 alone shed 43% of its biggest entrants, dropping from 4,228 in 2025 to 2,414 this year, despite the game simultaneously setting a Guinness World Record at EVO Japan in May with 7,168 entrants. So the health of the games themselves is not the issue. The issue seems to be the event. EVO 2026 is the first Las Vegas main event held under complete Qiddiya City ownership. Qiddiya City is Saudi Arabia's government-backed entertainment mega project, which completed its 100% acquisition of EVO through RTS in February 2026, the culmination of a 2-year transition that began when Sony sold its stake in EVO. The ownership chain ran from Sony to India's Nodwin Gaming in August 2025, and then Qiddiya absorbed Nodwin's share to take full control. EVO General Manager Rick T cited the scheduling shift from August to June and rising Las Vegas travel costs as the two primary structural factors behind the drop. Some in the community, though, have attributed a meaningful portion of the decline to players choosing not to attend under this current ownership structure. Now, here's what the weekend actually looks like on the competitive side. Street Fighter 6 leads registration for a 4th consecutive year with 2,414 entrants, followed by Tekken 8 at 1,354 and 2XKO in 3rd with 1,080, earning the Riot Games Tag Team Fighter its official Las Vegas Arena Finals debut. Guilty Gear Strive at 912 and Grand Blue vs. Rising at 466 round out the top 6 final slots. And we also have Rivals of Aether 2, but that is a separate controversial story that we're going to cover in this video. Grand Blue, Guilty Gear, and Rivals of Aether 2 play out the Saturday arena, while 2XKO, Tekken 8, and Street Fighter 6 own Sunday's main stage. The Street Fighter 6 Grand Final closes this weekend on Sunday, June 28th. Every announcement, every Grand Final pop-up, and every developer reveal this weekend happens under the shadow of that ownership question. How this event feels to the attendees, whether it still feels like hours, may matter more to the FGC's long-term trajectory than whoever wins any individual bracket here. Alright, so let's talk about Street Fighter 6 in general. Street Fighter 6 just crossed its 7 million units sold, the highest in the franchise that's ever been since Street Fighter 2's arcade boom in the early 90s, and Capcom is celebrating by doing something they've never done before in the game's life cycle. So at Summer Games Fest, as we mentioned in the last video, Capcom confirmed that Season 4 will consist of Yasmin, Arjun, Bosch, and Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. This is the first Street Fighter season containing no returning classic characters whatsoever. 3 full newcomers plus one of gaming's most iconic guest characters. It's going to be amazing. But players still holding out for Makoto, Sakura, Vega, or Dudley, or anyone else are going to have to be waiting for at least another year. Yasmin's gameplay trailer dropped last week, and Capcom confirmed she'll be playable at EVO 2026 at the Capcom booth, making her the first Street Fighter 6 DLC character to get a demo at EVO before her actual launch. Yasmin's full release is confirmed for August 3rd. Here's the strategic play worth understanding. Capcom has explicitly stated that they want Street Fighter 6 to run for 10 years. Here's a quote from Capcom. "When we initially kicked off the project, our internal goal was to hit that 10-year life cycle," said producer Matsumoto via IGN. A decade of Street Fighter 6. That would be roughly double Street Fighter V's lifespan and would make Street Fighter 6 the longest scored title in franchise history since Street Fighter 4 got nearly 8 years of updates. The critical question the community is already wrestling with, though? The developers have stated that there are no plans to introduce new core gameplay mechanics, even with 6 or 7 years of support remaining. No drive mechanic variants, no groove system additions. Capcom is betting on character additions and balance alone to carry the experience forward for a decade. One more housekeeping item directly tied to EVO weekend. Capcom is holding a 30-minute spotlight stream tonight, Thursday, June 25th, I believe, but it covers their broader lineup. Onimusha, Way of the Sword, Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen, expansions, and stuff like that. But Street Fighter 6 specific competitive news from Capcom is being saved for Sunday, June 28th. when the Street Fighter 6 Arena Final closes EVO 2026. Alright, let's talk about the last biggest story. It seems like it's the most complex of the weekend because it contains contradictory signals pointing in different directions simultaneously. In February 2026, Riot Games cut approximately 80 positions from the 2XKO development team, as we all know via social media and that whole storm that caused. That's roughly half of the game's global staff. Executive producer Tom Cannon cited player engagement had not reached the level needed to sustain a team of that size long term. In any other context, that announcement 6 months before your game's biggest competitive tournament would have been like the death toll for it. But 2XKO is behaving not like a dying game this summer. Pretty weird. The 1,080 person entrant field at EVO 2026 places 2XKO directly in the arena finals in his first Las Vegas competitive appearance. Riot committed $75,000 or more in total prizing for the EVO tournament, partially funded through the in-game frame perfect skin bundle. A public financial signal of continued competitive investment from a company that just cut half its team. The game's EVO prep has been energetic. The June 9th patch launched both Senna and Thresh as new champions alongside The Climb, a new single-player mode. The Pool Party mechanic event, free skin rewards for EVO entrants, and the Chipotle-branded lobby integration all launched in the last 2 weeks. The 436 players registered for both Street Fighter 6 and 2XKO represent the largest crossover between any two titles at EVO 2026, a stat that should make Capcom pay attention. 2XKO is structurally different from every other game on the EVO floor this year. It is the only free-to-play title and the only game built around one-button special inputs by design, without, per Riot's own dev team, sacrificing competitive ceiling. Whether that ceiling is real will be tested on Sunday's main stage. Alright, let's get to some round-the-horn multi-game micro news. Oh man, so BlazBlue adds a new character randomly. BlazBlue is officially back from the dead. In one of the most out-of-pocket fighting game announcements in 2026, Arc System Works just revealed that BlazBlue Central Fiction is getting a new character. Yeah, you heard that right. A game that came out over a decade ago or so is getting fresh DLC. The developer confirmed it's a canon character from the story mode, which instantly rules out a Guilty Gear crossover. Is ArcSys trying to jumpstart the IP before announcing a sequel, or are they just giving the community the ultimate legacy update? Hit the comments with your roster predictions, because BBCF is about to be flooded with new players. And next up, we have Dead or Alive 6 Last Round launches yesterday with Mai Shiranui and Kula Diamond. Koei Tecmo confirmed at EVO Japan 2026 that both Mai and Kula will return for DOA 6 Last Round, which launched yesterday, June 24th. Both are SNK characters crossing into the DOA ecosystem. Notable given the SNK Qiddiya ownership overlap. Get this game, guys, we love DOA on this channel. Next up, we have Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Kenshiro's coming in, but we have that shadow drop speculation running 2 days ago on June 22nd, and its stated purpose is to make Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star compatible as a character, not to release him yet. Kenshiro has confirmed a June 2026 release window as the final Season 2 pass character, completing a 28-character roster. The community is convinced that SNK is setting up a shadow drop during EVO weekend, the same move they've pulled with previous DLC characters at majors. Mexico leads all countries other than the USA in Fatal Fury at EVO registration this year, which is a testament to SNK's deep roots in the Latin American arcades. City of the Wolves clocked 443 entrants at EVO, landing in the showcase stage rather than arena finals. Still a functional competitive scene. Next up, we have Hunter x Hunter Net Impact. Season 1 pass is complete, but critical problems linger. Xeno Zoldyck launched June 18th as the fourth and final season pass character, completing Aiding's Hunter x Hunter 3v3 Tag Team Fighters first tier of DLC support. Xeno functions as a long-range pressure specialist using the Dragon Lance, with the Dragon Dive Aura Art as his premier neutral tool. The big caveat? The game's Steam user reviews still sit at mixed, and community forums have continued to surface the same core complaints: online infinite loops that have never really been fully patched. This game's jank, but it's fun. The game's rollback netcode is also limited to PS5 and Steam, leaving Nintendo Switch players in delay-based purgatory. And lastly, we have Street Fighter 6 news for people who love costumes. Juri's Aspa costume is disappearing on July 4th, and the timer's live. Juri's Outfit 4, the first ever character-specific Outfit 4 released in Street Fighter 6, tied to a collaboration with K-pop group Aspa, will be permanently removed from the in-game store on July 4th at 12 a.m. Pacific time. It is currently discounted at 20% to 280 fighter coins as part of the 3rd anniversary sale. This is the first time a non-rotating premium cosmetic has ever been fully delisted from the game, and it is almost a certain licensing expiration type of issue. So if you want it, you got 10 days. Go grab it. And finally, guys, we got the timeline burn. Some community discourse and volatility going on in the community. Alright, guys, so first off, Ludwig. That guy, he bought Rivals of Aether 2 an EVO Arena Final slot, and the community is livid. This is the discourse that has dominated FGC spaces for the past few months, and it comes to a head starting when Rivals of Aether pool play starts. Here's what happened. Popular content creator streamer Ludwig Agren, not sure if that's how you pronounce the bro's name, but his company Off-Brand Games, it publishes Rivals of Aether 2. Now, they announced a campaign to boost the game's EVO registration. He offered to pay for tickets and eventually distributed free registration codes broadly, online to just people. Rivals of Aether 2 ended up at 1,022 entrants, which is more than double its 358 from EVO 2025, landing 4th on the leaderboard above Guilty Gear Strive even, which is kind of crazy. FGC reaction across social media and Discord has characterized it as a dick measuring contest, which was not asked for. Players pointing out that the additional money from the D-Key registration flows directly to EVO, the Saudi-owned organization that many in the FGC already feel disconnected from, and they definitely don't need the extra bread. They don't need the extra money. But the ethical distinction the community is drawing is that Riot 2XKO's approach required players to still pay their entry fee to receive a free in-game skin, while Ludwig is just distributing free registrations, meaning players could simply sign up with no intention to really compete. The weekend's real test is the show rate. EVO allows any registered competitor to participate regardless of how they registered, and DQs during pool play do not retroactively change a game's arena finals placement. But a mass DQ wave in Rivals pools would make the underlying question impossible to avoid. So overall, the FGC has always operated on the principle that tournament entrant numbers are a signal of organic competitive health. The moment that signal becomes purchasable, the entire ranking system by which we measure a game scene, including how EVO builds its arena finals, becomes a lever that any publisher with enough money can now pull. Alright, next up. Speaking of all this controversy with the ownership, we have the Saudi ownership boycotts, and is this still even our event debate. Saudi Arabia's Qiddiya investment company has announced that its upcoming 2026 expansion of EVO will include new stops in Saudi Arabia itself, China, Morocco, Brazil, and Mexico. The legacy events, Las Vegas, Japan, now France, and the announced Singapore stop are officially unchanged in policies and format, so don't worry guys. However, that commitment has not silenced the discourse. The FGC has always been a community deeply invested in its grassroots identity. This is a scene that built itself through arcade cabinets, regional house parties, and genuinely local tournaments. You know we love locals on this channel. The transition from grassroots to Sony ownership to Saudi sovereign wealth fund in the span of 5 to 6 years is a cultural rupture for a significant portion of the longtime community. The registration numbers, the Ludwig controversy that we just talked about, and the exhibition match programming that we're about to talk about have all fed into a single narrative. Is EVO no longer building programming for the FGC? Is it building programming about the FGC for a mainstream audience now? The counter-argument, which is also legitimate, that $500,000 guaranteed prize pool, we got some money, y'all. The 300 cabinet free play arcade, which is nothing to scoff at. The EVO Museum installation once again. And the presence of 12 titles, including legacy games like Blaze Blue Central Fiction, which is now getting a new character, let's fucking go. Vampire Savior, the best video game ever. And Virtua Fighter 5 Revo suggest that the actual tournament floor is as committed to the culture as ever. The debate continues. Get in them comments. What do y'all think? Alright, next up, we got Tekken 8 in its competitive scene. Ikari rises, Joker's out of here, and two narratives collide. So two things are simultaneously true about Tekken 8's competitive health into EVO 2026. At EVO Japan, Ikari took down legends like Ni, Ulsan, and EVO Japan 2024 champion Chikurin as a 72 seed to win the whole title with Kazuya, one of the rare instances of a complete upset victory on a major stage in modern Tekken. New blood, electric performance, World Tour points secured. And Tekken 8 drew only 833 entrants at EVO Japan 2026 compared to 7,168 for Street Fighter 6. Pro player Joka quit the esports scene in 2026, stating, quote, Season 2 was probably the worst patch in fighting game history. With Season 3, they've doubled down on things. Both are true simultaneously. The game can produce incredible tournament moments and have a depleted competitive pool relative to what it was at launch. The Tekken community is functionally in a wait-and-see posture on the July 8th patch, which represents the first real post-EVO test of whether Bandai Namco has genuinely found the path back to competitive legitimacy. And lastly, you know, we gotta talk about it. We got that match, guys. We got that Tyler 1 versus Ludwig Street Fighter 6 1st to 10 that's happening tomorrow. And the FGC is just complicated about it. Friday night at EVO 2026 tomorrow. It closes with the Tyler 1 versus Ludwig Street Fighter 6 1st to 10 exhibition organized by EVO to draw broader public attention to the event. Ludwig has addressed FGC criticism of the exhibition directly, framing it as a visibility opportunity for fighting games. EVO's calculation is clearly that the pair's combined streaming audience will translate into broader tournament visibility. The FGC's concern has been the opposite, that platforming personalities whose appeal lies entirely outside of competitive play risk sending a message about what EVO's programming priorities have become under new ownership. The discourse here maps neatly onto the broader questions this EVO weekend is raising. Can an event grow its audience without alienating its core? Can a game's competitive legitimacy survive being used as a vehicle for content creator spectacle? The players on the competitive bracket will provide answers in their matches. The question is whether anyone outside the FGC will be watching when they do. So the big takeaway for EVO 2026 coming in this weekend, the stakes for some players are real Guinness World Records, World Tour points, and $100,000 prize pools. But the event is processing a genuine identity tension in real time. And this weekend, with every match, every announcement, and every DQ pool in Rivals of 8th or 2, that tension gets a little bit more resolved. Watch the Street Fighter 6 Arena Final Sunday. Watch what Capcom announces. Watch whether Kenshiro gets shadow dropped in Vegas. This weekend matters. Let's do it, y'all. EVO. Woo! EVO 2026 opens at the Las Vegas Convention Center tonight, I believe. If you're there, enjoy it. Brackets are set, the drama is loaded, and the fighting game community is about to do what it has always done. Settle it on the floor. Alright, y'all. I'll see y'all soon. I'll have another one of these probably during EVO or after. And as always, please visit carryoutandfight.com for all of your fighting game gear needs. We have some cool designs that we think you'd love rocking at your next event, tournament, or convention. Check us out, and we'll provide you with a 10% off coupon, limited time. Thanks for watching, y'all, and make sure you're always hungry.